following show contains adult content. It's not our intent to offend anyone, but we want to inform you that if you are a child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
Hey everyone, and welcome to 50 Shades of Bullshit. I'm your host, Christine Lalonde, and this is the podcast where we uncover the truth about online dating. Now let's begin. Hey everyone, I'm Christine.
And I'm Janice.
And this is 50 Shades of Bullshit.
Hell yeah.
Hey. So welcome to the show again, Janice.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be recurring guest co-host.
I know. I love that. So today is actually going to be really fun. I've been wanting to do this episode for quite a while, and I just hadn't found the right Gen Zs to do it. And I found these incredible guys that are going to come on and talk to us today. There's a few things I want to express before we bring them on.
Okay, express yourself.
Yeah. So today's show is about Gen Z dating. And that generation is your teens and young adult 20s, early 20s. Because I believe my older daughters in their mid to late 20s are, what generation is that? Millennials. So I'm really excited about this because my thoughts have always been that we don't educate our young teenagers, our early 20-year-olds on how to communicate properly with the opposite sex, how to talk about sex, how to talk about relationships, how to, all these things. So I think that one, we don't teach them how to find themselves, that finding yourself, sure. Knowing who you are is what's going to make for a better relationship, because then you're choosing the right people. I think that when someone has a reoccurring situation, that the situation has to do with themselves, that they're the common denominator. And it's about finding who you are and what you want in your life. For a spouse or a significant other. And I also think that teen and early 20s and 20-year-olds dating is practice for finding their person.
Yeah, I'd say you're probably right. And if that's the case, then I'm really glad that you're doing this because, a lot of really toxic and unhealthy behaviors are normalized in the media and in content that teens are consuming, whether it be Gossip Girl or porn or various other, music. And I think that we start off, myself included, we start off thinking that relationships are about drama and hard work and people being abusive to one another and on again, off again relationships. Cheating is very normalized in pop culture. And so I think that this is fantastic. I know that you're excited about it. We had someone, a regular listener in our clubhouse room a while back that you just got so revved up about every time he came in, a 17-year-old kid who was passionate about learning about communication. And so shout out to our clubhouse.
Well, I think when you know who you are and you know what you want and you know what you need in your life when it comes to a significant other and somebody who you're dating, that you go into dating with the right tools. And then with that, you need to learn how to communicate. And that's what I think that we need to teach people. Also, talking about things that maybe in my generation was taboo. Sex was taboo. Money was taboo, religion, and not talking about these things on a daily with people. And I think that there's so much more to talk about, especially with those things. In school, our children are given sex education, and it's anatomy education.
Okay. I actually don't really know much about the state of sex ed in America, to be perfectly honest with you. That's interesting. Even in somewhere like LA, they don't have comprehensive sex ed?
Not really.
Okay.
If they do, I don't really know about it. You know,
Well, you got a girl.
I sit down and talk to my daughter about this stuff,
I know you did.
and I think that it's super important. And I just think that we should normalize talking about these things. Also, my true belief is that teenagers should be educated in how to handle a sexual situation, many different types of sexual situations, so they don't find themselves saying yes to this other person, whether it be a boy or girl, when they really don't want to say yes.
Yeah, great.
And I think that the teenage brain is still developing. And so before you're 18, if you're having sex, you're going to develop really strange or different attachments to people that you shouldn't be developing attachments to, because they're not the right person to develop relationship attachments.
Your brain doesn't know how to handle an intense experience that you've had with someone.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, I know for me too, I would get, more attached to someone after than I should have been for any reason. And I know sometimes, male teens can be too detached afterwards. It's different it's certainly different for everybody, but either way, it's not healthy and communicative the way that, some of us are doing it in our 30s, 40s, and 50s.
Exactly. So today we have Jack and Dylan Shepard. They are brothers. They are 16 and 23. And they're going to come on and they're going to ask us questions about dating and about breakups and how to work through that. So that's why I have Janice here today, because Janice is X-Files podcast host talking about breakups and dealing with situations like that.
Yeah. Can we make a quick announcement about the fact that you are going to be a co-host on X-Files? I'm sure that your listeners would be stoked. Christine and I recorded our first episode this morning. I have a very small handful of guest co-hosts that come on or are starting to come on, and Christine is going to be one of them, and, along with some of the guests that she's had on 50 Shades of Bullshit. And the episode is on anger and breakup. So everyone go follow X-Files. Christine was amazing. One of my best people I've had on so far. So keep your eyes on the space, because it's a powerful episode, and it's about something else that we consider to be taboo. So
it started out my day pretty damn good.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. That makes me very happy. Thanks for telling me.
So let's bring on Jack and Dylan, and let's get started with them.
Hey guys,
where are they? Oh, they're coming. Hi guys, how are you?
Doing swell.
So Dylan's on his way to a concert tonight. He went up north. You in Seattle, you said?
Yeah, that's right. At the bus stop right now on my way to the concert.
I love that. And Jack is here in LA. So thank you. We're actually going to start with Jack. Jack has got some interesting breakup questions for us. Jack recently went through a breakup. I'm sorry. But you know what I'm not sorry about? That one, that you're excited to learn. And two, that you're single. There's some cute girls out there waiting for you, Jack.
That is true.
So hit us with your best shot, Jack. Tell us who you are first, and anything about you want to tell us about.
Okay. I mean, I'm Jack. I'm 16. I go to I'm a senior in high school, and I just got dumped recently. That sucks, but
see, even the cute ones get dumped.
Yeah, that's true. You are pretty cute, and you have a smile about it. So I mean, that's something. That's a good start.
Yes. Yeah. Well, tell us your questions, and let's talk about breaking up. And
what's the fastest way to get over an ended relationship?
The $1 million question.
Yeah.
How long ago was it? So why don't you give us some context?
Yes.
Okay. Like why, or like?
Well, how long were you dating her?
Not like 2 months.
2 months. Okay. And what was the breakup about? What happened?
She had like a bunch of school work and stuff, and like was gonna be at school until like 10 o'clock or something, I think. So it was just gonna be really hard to like be in a relationship during
Get
that.
time
So
together.
just got the text during school. Hey, we need to talk, and then yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
did she say that she was going to be too busy to spend time having a relationship?
Yeah, she just said she didn't want to be a bad girlfriend. So
Okay. I can respect that. Can
yeah,
you
no, yeah,
respect
that makes sense. Yeah.
situation? Yeah. And so you have to know that, first of all, it doesn't sound like it had to do with you as a person or you as a boyfriend. So you should take that to the bank. Okay. So know that sometimes it really is about them and not about us. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Janice has a lot to say about this, but I do have to say, I think the best way to get over a breakup, the fastest way, like you said, is to, find things that you love for you and start doing things for yourself.
I did. My brother was a very good brother and started going bouldering, which is a hobby of mine, with me like every day. So that was fun.
Yeah.
You guys are doing what? I'm sorry.
Bouldering, it's like rock climbing.
Oh, bouldering. Yes. Okay. And Janice, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, thank you so much for being brave and sharing this, Jack. How long ago did this happen?
That's like 2 weeks ago now.
Oh, so hardly any time at all. Okay. So, and what would you say that you're struggling with the most?
Well, I mean, you guys know how it goes. Just the memories like going through my head.
Yeah. Okay.
Missing the person
Yeah,
there.
just missing her.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you have to see her, or what's the current situation as far as, your or interactions with her go?
I see her every once in a while at school, but it's like I normally don't see her, so that's not a issue.
Okay.
Okay,
good.
fantastic. So, and do you guys text or talk?
Every once in a while.
Okay.
It's just a little weird to talk after that. I've noticed.
And when you say that you talk once in a while, do you mean when you run into each other, or are you texting each other?
I just mean texting every once in a while.
Okay, so when you say every once in a while, it's been 2 weeks, so that would be like you're in touch with her.
Every couple days ish.
So who's reaching out, you or her?
I reached out a couple times. She reached out a couple times. It's pretty like
Okay.
even slope there.
So what's your thought on that, Janice? Janice is a breakup coach.
One of my top tips for breakups is if one of you is struggling, the most important and most effective thing that you can do is cut off, and maybe not cut off, but stop communication with this person, or at least get it to the bare minimum, because every time that you two are engaging and interacting with each other, that's just building the connection rather than disseminating the connection. And so I would highly encourage you to, maybe you need to tell her that you can't do this anymore, or maybe you just don't respond the next time that she reaches out. I wouldn't be reaching out if I were you, and get to the point where you're not texting. You are the one saying that you're struggling with this, and I assure you, if you stop texting, and do you text at school or like at night?
Like at night-ish.
Yeah. I mean, this is the time that you could be using to heal and get over this. Right. And instead you're inviting her into your space and into your free time. And so that would be the quickest, as far as getting over it quick, that would be the most effective thing that you can do for sure.
I also think, Jack, that you need to, think about this. She broke up with you for a reason. And you should allow her to keep that reason. And if someone has a reason to break up with you in the first place, you weren't meant to be with them in the first place.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And I know that kind of hurts, especially if you've developed feelings, but it's a time for growth and a time to bring somebody into your life who actually will take the time and find the time to make you important enough to spend time with you.
Yeah, you deserve someone, and this is an important thing to learn when you're in high school. This is something that I wasn't taught in high school, and that is that you deserve someone who's going to choose to show up for you every day, no matter how busy they are and what they have going on. And you're in high school, and breaking up with someone because of your studies is perfectly valid, but at the same time, she still chose that something else was a priority, and you deserve to be the priority. And are you just starting your senior year, or
just
are
starting.
you on summer holiday still?
Just starting.
You just started. I mean, look, you don't want to be dwelling on this. It's your senior year.
Yeah,
And
have
so,
fun.
yes, I would say cut out the texting first of all, and then, listen to what Christina and I are just saying and start to count your blessings, and maybe even write them down. I don't know if teenagers are journaling these days, but you have a lot to be thankful for, especially the fact that this did happen at the beginning of your senior year and not in the middle. If you can work hard to put this behind you, you could have a great last year of high school, which is another thing that you deserve.
Yeah. So did you have you had a few more questions for us?
I did, and one was really similar. It was just, how do I make myself happy again after ending of a relationship? But that's pretty much
going outside and getting in the sunshine, finding things that make you happy and go have fun, creating new friend situations. Janice?
Yeah, well, once again, I mean, I think that every time that you guys are texting, you're putting salt on this wound. And so, and also 2 weeks is hardly any time. So don't be panicking that you still feel heartbroken, but you need to create more space between the two of you. And then what I would ask is, what have your weekends looked like since the two of you broke up?
Okay, so first weekend, I made myself really busy. That was great. And then now I just got COVID, so now I'm kind of just stuck here by myself.
Which gave you time to think.
Yes.
Yeah, that probably didn't help.
I thought it wouldn't, but then I found a way to make myself busy and find fun stuff to do, and I have noticed that with when we haven't talked in a while, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm good. And then she'll tell me, oh.
Yeah. So what do you think is the motivation for you to reach out? And would you feel like you would be able to commit to stopping that self-destructive pattern?
Yeah.
I say torture.
Well, if I'm just scrolling through Instagram and then see something that would be something we talked about a lot that I'd want to send to her.
I'm glad that you brought this up. So you can mute someone on Instagram so that they don't know that you're not following them anymore. And you can mute all of her friends as well, so that you're not accidentally coming across things like that.
Yeah.
What other social media are you? And I know that that's hard in the beginning of a breakup for sure, because you get addicted to a person and you want to know what they're doing and you miss them. And so when you see their social media posts, you get this little hit of, adrenaline and all the feel good feelings. And so it's hard to push mute. But I mean, you just said that Instagram is a trigger for you. So.
Yeah.
Well, every once in a while there'll be something, but yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. And then I think that's the only one that's really a problem.
Yeah.
I think if you went a full week with no Instagram and no texting and continue to see, I think start small, but I think if you can go a week, you're going to feel really confident, and you might feel that you also have created a bit more space.
And she doesn't necessarily mean not be on those platforms.
Oh, yeah.
Mute the situation between the two of you.
Yeah.
So that you're not having to see her posts.
Yes.
So it gives you a break from that. But experience life as a teenager and do your thing, but put some space and time and a little Band-Aid on there.
Right.
To give yourself some space to heal.
Yeah, no, I thought you meant just no Instagram.
No, I haven't gone a week without
Instagram.
And who knows? I couldn't do that either. I meant a week without her Instagram.
Right. Yeah. That'd be smart.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think, how many other questions do you have for us? You had another couple, didn't you?
I've got a few more, I think.
Cool. Let's do it.
How do I stop myself from overthinking in a relationship? They haven't texted in 5 hours. Oh.
I think that's normal, Jack. It's not just you. It's me. It's Janice. It's Dylan. It's the world. It's everybody. But again, my strongest belief is that you should take this time to find out who Jack is what makes you happy, what are the things that are going to bring joy to your life, and by finding that, you're going to start bringing in the people who are going to find joy in those same things, and it'll give you time to be separated from those thoughts.
Yeah, that's good for sure. And also, if you are not expecting her to reach out and you aren't going to be reaching out because you've made this no texting commitment to yourself, then the expectation of, and the waiting for her to be in touch will
Yeah.
go down the longer that you have committed to not engaging with her by text.
Do you
And
know
so I
how I do it?
promise that it's hard the first couple of weeks because
Yeah.
there's the expectation for it. But if you remove that and then you give it a week or two, you'll find it comes into your mind a lot less.
Yeah.
Or yeah, a lot less.
Let me tell you what I do, Jack. I take the number and I block it so that I can't receive any messages. And then I delete the number so that I can't make those messages myself.
How
And
does that
it's,
feel to you?
That feels a little like maybe a little much for me to just because we said, I mean, we'll still be friends, yada yada.
well, you can still be friends at school to say, hi, how are you? And move along. But if there's temptation there, that's harder sometimes to do. When you've taken out of sight, out of mind, it really helps the situation.
I do agree. I mean, if my top tip would definitely be to block everywhere because you're the one, you're saying that you're struggling with it. I know though, for me included in the past, not as much now, but blocking someone is very scary for some people. And so I do get that. I think that you might get there eventually, and also I think you'll get to the point where you're not really thinking about this anymore.
Yeah.
But if you really feel like that's a step that will be hard for you to make right now, I would say at the very least, maybe mute the notifications, change her name in your
Oh yeah,
phone.
I did that.
Oh, okay. See, you're really on the right track. And then
Yeah.
maybe did you change it to something that's going to prevent you from engaging with her? Or?
I mean, it just felt a little weird to have a heart on the name still, so I just took off.
Okay.
Took that off.
But you can change her name to like don't text or don't answer or just no or just her initials or something that serves as a reminder for you. We actually are coming out with an X-Files episode next week called when my ex texts me, what should I do or something. And my guest on the show said to change the name in your phone if you can't block, and then think of your least favorite animal and then change their picture to a picture of that animal.
I have done something similar for like a past breakup. I just said ignore this or something as the name.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe do that again. And I do understand, and I'm compassionate to the fact that you have to see each other at school, and the last thing that you want is more drama over the blocking or something. So I do get that. But you like I keep on saying, you're the one who's saying that you're struggling with the texting specifically. So that's what we need to address.
Yeah.
Right.
And I promise you, the less you
better.
expect to be talking with her, because right now you're in a habit of doing it. You say every once in a while, but every couple of days or every few days, that's actually quite a bit of talking. And so now every single day, your body and your system and your mind expects to be in touch with her.
Right.
And so you need to break that. What do you so you need a circuit cutter, yeah. And a few weeks of not having any text communication will do that.
Okay.
Take discipline, but you'll feel so much better.
You will. You really will. Plus, you'll be really proud of yourself for putting yourself first.
Okay.
That's
focusing. I mean, what do you want? And this is maybe something that can help you stay disciplined, is maybe thinking about what you want for your senior year and maybe even writing it down.
Yeah, I have thought about like, oh, what's some fun stuff I'm going to be doing, and that tends to help.
Yeah. You deserve to have all of that. And a broken heart and focusing on a breakup or having an on again, off again thing, which is easy to do when you're texting, is really the last thing that you need.
Right. Yeah.
And keep in mind, there is people who have found the love of their lives in high school and have grown up together and gone through their 20s together and gotten married and having a life together. That's awesome. That's great. But that's not everybody. And keep in mind that she's not your forever person. You're 16.
I did keep that in mind.
No good.
Okay. Okay. And who's to say you're not going to meet your forever person next week, next month, next year, 20 years from now, 10 years from now? It doesn't matter. You are the most important person in your forever. So put yourself first. Put value on your time, your energy, and your space. And then leave it open for somebody to come in who's going to put value in you as well.
I think I might just do that.
Oh,
I think
good.
so.
I'm feeling this for you. I mean, you've already done several things that are very productive for healing, and the fact that you're here means that you're self-reflective, and interested in improving yourself. So I think you're going to be okay, but also, give yourself a little bit of patience, because 2 weeks is hardly any time. And if you're still talking, that's really no time. And so, maybe start day one with, the first day that you commit to not thinking about the texting and not reaching out, and then move to not responding to her and count that.
Yeah, good. Yeah, that's great advice, Janice. And I just want you to remember something. These are tools for you in the future. This is tools for Dylan in the future. When you meet people and you get into relationships and you start developing feelings for people, there are going to be breakups in your future. Guaranteed. I stake my life on it. There are going to be breakups in your future. It's how you handle them, how you respect yourself through them, and what you do to move forward. So our hope is that you take these tools and these thoughts and these actions and put them into play when these things happen. Don't get too angry about it. If you do, let work through it, because in the future, that was what our podcast about earlier was about anger and breakup. It can happen. It can piss you off sometimes that somebody said something and then did the opposite. Okay. And it's about dealing with emotions and feelings, putting yourself first, and, really taking steps to take time for you. Okay.
And I also think maybe something that might resonate with someone who's 16 is, I always say, keep your dignity at the forefront during a breakup, and, do things that you are not going to look back on and be, ashamed or regretful of. And it sounds like you've done a great job of that. So, I mean, and the only reason I'm saying is just because, this is the first of a few of these that you're going to go through. So, and I wish someone would have told me that after before I had a couple of my breakups, because I did things that cringe.
Me too.
I've had a couple or three heartbreaks now, and the first one, I know what you're talking about. The next one I decided, you know what, I'm gonna not do that. So
good. You're learning. Sometimes we say things out of emotion, and sometimes we have to stop, take a step back, maybe write those things down. And Janice was talking about earlier today, like writing a letter down to them. Don't send it, put it away, and then revisit that letter later and see how you changed, see how you grew, and see how those feelings changed. Because that's important to keep in mind, that what you're feeling today may not be what you're feeling tomorrow.
I did something like that in the past, and this guy right here told me, don't send it. And then a month later, I looked at it and I was like, thank you, God, I did not send it.
Maybe do that. And also you maybe, make a list of everything that you gained from the breakup. And I do think that being single at the beginning of your senior year is a gift. I mean, that's really what you want.
Well, I'm going to say this is for both you and Dylan. I think one of the most important things that anybody can do that I didn't do until this year, and I really didn't understand it until I did it, was writing down the things that make me happy and then write down the things for what I want in another person. And those are going to really put you on a good track to attracting the type of person. And for you, Jack, it could be someone who's going to make me a priority in some sense, put quality time
Yeah.
with me. You know what I mean? Because that sounds like something that might be your love language, quality time. Yeah, could be. And if you've never learned about your love languages, you should look at the 5 love languages, and there's a quiz you can take online to see which love language you are. But this isn't about love languages right now, but one thing I do want to say, that there's a difference between knowing what your love language is and the difference between knowing what your partner's love language is. It's your love language isn't what you should be giving the other person. It's their love language that you have to give,
Yeah.
whether it's yours or not. So if theirs is gift giving and yours isn't, you have to find little ways to gift give to them. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So
I'm
that's
so
my
glad you're
advice.
saying that, because so many people are familiar with the term love language, but you are right. People talk about it as about my love language, me, 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 me. And
Mhm.
really the concept and the point of the love languages is being open to learn how to speak someone else's. So I appreciate that. And Gary Chapman is the author of the book, and there is a version called The 5 Love Languages for Teens. He has a teen edition. So check that out, Jack.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually know somebody who doesn't really like to be hugged or touched, but that's not their love language, but their partner's love language is to be hugged and touched. And they had to say, okay, what's more important to me? Their needs or mine? And they were getting their needs met from this other person. So they were like, oh, okay, I need to do this for my partner because my partner is important to me. So it's that kind of thing. So
Yeah, and I think the part of the point that we're trying to make is, use this time to learn about yourself and, focus on personal development, focus about, what you want after your senior year, or maybe even just as important, what you want for the summer after your senior year and how you're going to make it fantastic. And I think the more energy that you put into that, I think the faster you're going to get over this.
yeah, I think so too. So, yeah. So is there any last things with you? We want to get to Dylan as well.
Yes, I do have one more. Just moving on from breakups. It's just in your guys' opinion, what is a quote unquote smooth way to ask someone out?
Okay. I have an opinion. Then I'll pass it on to Janice. Communication, I think, is the most important thing you could have. Being vague is not. In this type of generation, with your generation, people tend to say, hey, let's hang out. And the guy thinks that the girl knows that he's asking her out. She does not know you are asking her out. She thinks she should gather all the troops and come hang out with you. Okay? Communication is key. Being very direct by saying, hey, I'm really interested in spending time with you and getting to know you, and I would absolutely love to take you on a date. The word date is very important. And say, I love to rock climb. I'd love to show you how if you've never done it. Or you love bowling. I would love to take you bowling. But do communication. That is sexy. Communication is sexy, Jack.
Yeah, I would also say to be as specific as possible. I would say it's a real drag when someone asks you out and then asks you what you want to do. And so I have always been excited from teenager on up, because I did date a lot in high school. I was always excited when a guy would come to me and ask to take me out, and then know what he wanted to do rather than asking me. I do want to ask, is this for like a special occasion or something, or like a weekend date?
Huh?
So is this for like a dance?
I mean, like, for like someone you like.
Okay, yeah, perfect. So I think then what Christine said is perfect. Be direct. I think, either in person or calling is fun. If you want to do it by text, that's great as well. But definitely, I want to take you out, and this is what I would like to do.
Yeah, I did ask my daughter and a bunch of her friends what their thoughts were on
Oh,
this
okay.
kind of thing, and they all said no texting.
Oh, okay.
Texting is just chit chatting and saying, "How's your day? Good to see you. Can't wait to see you." Shit like that. But when asking out, it's always better to just say call or in person.
Yeah. Would you be comfortable having this conversation in person?
Yeah, I was thinking more like a in-person kind of thing.
Oh yeah, fantastic. I think it would be really great if you just said, what are you doing? I'd love to take you out. What do you think? And I think, or there's this new place I want to try, and I'd like to take you. I think that girls probably aren't used to that kind of direct being asked out so directly, and I think she'd probably be pretty excited.
Yeah, I would.
Mhm.
Yes, the answer is yes. For the girl, on her behalf, I'm saying yes. That's a good plan.
And also, I would say it's important to do it ahead of time too. If you want to take her out, Friday or Saturday, do it earlier in the week, because I think teens. I don't know. Maybe this is all women. You like to have the anticipation. You like to be able to tell your friends, and also you don't. It's polite as well.
Yeah, I also hate it when guys assume that I have nothing planned. When a guy assumes that I have nothing planned and he asks me at the last minute is frustrating. So unless I'm in a relationship with that person and then he knows I don't have a plan.
I would say too, don't overthink the asking out part. What is more important is doing it in a polite way so that she says yes, and then having the date be really smooth. Exactly. So I wouldn't, I don't think for me it was ever that much about some grand way that a guy did it rather than the date itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah, good luck. Tell Christine how it goes because I want to hear what happens. Do you have someone in mind?
Oh, not necessarily. I was just
lies.
Hi, Dylan. Hi, Dylan. So Dylan,
I find it interesting. I gave Jack a lot of the similar advice to what you guys did, and when I say it, it doesn't mean shit to him. But when you guys say it, now he's all smiles and like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Oh well,
we have to hear it from other people sometimes. And you know what? When it's coming from a guy or a family member, it doesn't always resonate or click. When you hear it from a woman, or you hear it from the opposite sex, or from somebody who doesn't have an added investment in your life.
So is it Jack that my tits aren't big enough? Is that what it is?
Yeah, maybe it is.
Maybe he's smiling because you're reinforcing what you said.
Yes, he's like, oh, this makes sense now.
Okay.
Well, I also knew he was getting satisfaction out of being like, I told you this.
So tell us about you, Dylan. Where are you in your life, and how old are you? And
well, I am going on 23 in about a month now. So I'm just living life, going on vacation one after another, as you guys can tell, given that I'm at the bus stop right now, about to see the Weekend concert. Yeah.
Well, you must be doing something right if you're on vacation after vacation at 23. Oh yeah.
Well, no, that more something wrong. It's because I can't find a job.
Well,
if I could find one, then I would stop going.
You're handling it well.
Yeah, you are. You're having fun, and that's what's important.
Exactly.
So, Dylan, you had some dating questions for us. Is that right?
I do. Yeah. I from my experiences in my life, I have a relatively pessimistic view towards dating now. So I'm just kind of curious. I guess is one of my questions. Like, what's the point of dating when over 90% of relationships fail, and the few that make it to marriage still have a 50% divorce rate, when even less are actually happy in those marriages?
Okay. I feel very strongly about this.
Yeah. Go girl.
Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Half empty, half full. They're at the same level. Why are you choosing the empty? If it's 50% fail and 50% succeed, why are you not looking at the successes and you're only looking at the failures?
Well, because those are just the ones that divorce. That doesn't mean that the ones that don't divorce are happy in their marriages.
Well, you don't know that.
I know a lot of unhappy married couples.
Yep. And I tell you that I think it's because people don't know who they are before they get in a relationship. People don't know what they want when they get in a relationship, so they're getting people they don't want. They commit to things that they shouldn't be committing to because they think it's what they should do. So when you are finding Dylan and you know what you fucking want, pardon the French, Jack and Dylan, but when you know what you want and you are attracting the people that are right for you, how incredible would it be to find that person that knocks your socks off, puts you first, makes you feel like $1,000,000, and then you have this incredible life together because you started out positive with
Yeah.
Dylan.
But yeah,
I,
even if you don't, I don't understand. I mean, relationships don't. I mean, many relationships don't last forever. I mean, I don't understand why that has to necessarily be a bad thing. You know, we connect with lots of people through our lifetime. That's actually kind of cool. You know, I'm single, and some of the greatest times of my life have been single, and some of the greatest times of my life have been with, you know, romantic experiences with lots of people. I mean, that's just how humans are. I believe that we connect with and have lots of romances through our life, and that's just how it is, including marriages.
I do agree. I mean, I've been married a couple of times, Dylan, and I don't regret it. I have beautiful daughters, and I learned and grew through them. And I don't have to take the negative from it. I can take the positive from it, and I can move on and find myself, which I have done, and I know what I want, which check. And now I'm attracting people into my life who are better suited for me. And so my next part of my journey in life is so much more positive and so much more wonderful. And I'm actually happy. So, don't always take a situation like Janice said and think that it's the do or die moment. And if it works out, that's amazing. If it doesn't, take what you can from it, learn and grow from it, and then find Dylan, find your person through that.
that makes sense.
I agree, and I also want to say, even though I am a dating coach, I'm also probably the biggest advocate that I know for just enjoying being single. And if you don't feel like dating and you do think it's a chore and you do think this pessimistically about it, you don't have to date. I don't think that relationships are like the higher way to live. You know, I was probably happier when I was single. And if you feel like it's a chore, just do you and keep on looking for work and going on vacations and
Yeah.
come back to it when you're excited about it.
Yeah. Besides, you too.
Makes sense.
I'm gonna be a parent here. You're way too young to think about your forever person at this moment,
That's
because
true as well.
Right.
it-
That actually ties into my next question
Yeah.
that I had, because I think part of my pessimistic view has to do with that I'm not alone with it, because it seems like most of the people that I interact with on a daily basis at my age aren't looking for that title and would prefer friends with benefits. So I was just curious, what age does that generally change?
Boy.
Never. I'm divorced. I'm 54 years old, and almost every man I've ever dated since I've been single has, not all of them, but most of them, just want casual. And I have had to make those choices in my life, whether I'm cool with casual at the moment, and when I'm no longer cool with that, then I say, hey, this was fun, gotta go. And I move on. And then there's some people that don't, that want relationships, and that's great, but it never really changes. People are people. People are going to have different views, different values, different thoughts. There's different ways of having relationships. It's a matter of what you want, though, Dylan. If you want to be single till you're 30, be single till you're 30. If you want to be married by the time that you are 32, 33, then at 30, maybe open yourself to doing that. Just because, let's just say something crazy here. Say you meet some random crazy girl in the next couple of days, and she's perfect. So what? Enjoy being in that until you're ready to get married, which is in your 30s.
Yes, please, your 30s. I will say this is definitely another one of your mindset challenges, because I assure you, whether it was my 20s or now, I don't really publicly talk about my age, but
No problem.
I have met just as many people who wanted serious as wanted hookups or friends with benefits or whatever. I assure you, there's people who are your age who want all spectrums of of options. And so I still meet people who don't want it. I wouldn't say that it changes, and it's a mindset thing, and it's knowing, like Christine said, what you want and communicating that and communicating with someone about what they want, and then making a choice about whether or not that's going to work for you. And you know what, friends with benefits has its pros and cons, and if you're meeting people, maybe play with that a little bit and experiment with it and see if you gain anything from it.
Yeah, why not? And unfortunately, time flies really fast. We only have 4 more minutes. I know you had another question for us, Dylan.
Yeah. This is a little off topic from the former questions I've asked.
Okay.
Just out of curiosity, what's like a good first date spot if on a budget, and one if not if on a budget?
Yeah.
Great.
I love when a guy comes to me and says, "Hey, let's go bike riding out at the beach," or "Let's go for a walk out at the beach, and I packed a picnic," or "I packed a picnic. Let's go to the park." And he just takes the time to listen to me and talk to me. For me, it's about the time, the quality time that you're together. So I love it when a guy makes plans to do something that's interesting and fun. That hiking, it doesn't matter. If you're on a budget, it's about making time. It's not about making them feel like you're spending a ton of money on them.
Yeah, so I agree. However, personally, I think that your suggestions are more like second, third date territory. Personally, I think for a first date, you're in the best area, in the country as far as, funky theme bars and restaurants go. And I personally really strongly think if it's a first date, to make it short, do some research, find a place in your area that has affordable cocktails, and go for drinks and maybe an appetizer, and then call it a day. And I think the more research you do, go on Google Maps and pick places with $1 or $2 signs, and make it fun and somewhere she hasn't been before. But also don't overthink the first date. Really, the first date is about seeing if you guys have good conversation, and then deciding if you want a second date. And then I think the picnic, the beach, the hike is awesome for that.
Yeah. No coffee dates. We fucking hate them, Jack. Dylan, not Jack. Dylan, we hate coffee dates. It's an interview. It's impersonal. Every coffee date I've ever gone on has been a no after I've had that coffee date with them. Even if I liked them before, it just was like, oh, that was
lame.
It was lame. It was nothing special. Hated it.
But cocktails at a funky LA bar, and there are affordable places. Don't, and again, mindset. I personally say go for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you like somebody and you're on a date with them, ask them for a second date while you're on that date. It makes them see no guessing, no game playing. If you like them, say, hey, I'd love to see you again. Are you free next weekend? Are you free on Thursday? I'm going rock climbing, and I'd love it if you want to come with me, or whatever. But don't leave people guessing. This wait 3 days bullshit is...
I'm actually more, I like what you're saying. I like the day after text saying it was great meeting you. I'd like to see you next weekend. So I think either yes, on the spot in the moment, or the next day. Give yourself each a chance to think it over. But yeah, don't wait. And that's another thing that girls like. If you don't over text, but you're to the point and don't wait too long, it does make you feel special.
Yeah. Don't leave when you're liking a person, don't wait too long to respond to them. Don't wait too long to talk to them, because it tells a girl in her mind, he doesn't care. He didn't like me. We overthink things, and knowing how, what? I really enjoyed that. I really want to see you again, whether it's on the date or text or call. But, if a girl texts you, don't wait a day to text her back, because that's freaking rude. And if you really like somebody, don't put 24 hours and 48 hours between all these communications.
I'm definitely guilty of that, but not because I'm intentionally trying to take time to respond. It's just my days are so jam-packed from the time I wake up to the time I pass out that oftentimes a day or a week or two will go in between me texting.
If you like someone, then
Yeah.
get that shit under control. Learn how
Yeah.
to respond faster, because that's a huge turnoff. And
You
it
will learn real
really
fast.
self-centered and just rude.
Yeah,
so I
it
understand
is.
you might think that's just how you are, but you know, figure it out.
I understand.
Yeah. Making someone a priority, even if it's a quick good morning text or good night text, or I was thinking about you today text, even that is perfect. So one last parting thing before we let you guys go: be a gentleman always. Be considerate of how she feels. Open doors for her, car doors, regular doors. I think being a gentleman goes very, very far.
Walking on the side of the street closest to the cars.
Yes!
Jack, I'm talking to you.
I did do that once. He won't let it go.
Of course not, because I see him walking on the wrong side of the street with his girlfriend. I had to call him out, and I continue to do that.
I love it.
to this
That's
day.
the way to be.
Detail, yeah.
I didn't know about this rule yet.
Okay,
Just
well,
used to be.
if you need more ideas, we can help you. I actually find that it would be really great to have you guys back in a couple of months or a month or two, and say, hey, how's this been for you? How was the recovery, Jack? Where are you now? And maybe give you some more dating tools and dating ideas. So. Thank you for being here today. Janice, thanks for co-hosting. You guys were great. Dylan, have a great time on your concert. Jack,
Thank you.
you're adorable. You've
Thanks.
got an incredible, both of you have incredible lives ahead of you. We're really excited for both of you. You're going to make great boyfriends someday. Thanks everybody for coming. Same time, same place next week. And until then, keep it real.
Bye.
Sounds good. Bye.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share with your friends, like and follow us on Instagram at 50 Shades of _bullshit and Facebook at 50 Shades of Bullshit. Thanks so much for listening, and we really hope to see you again next week.